This is a story about having it all. Our favorite snack food, our trim figure, our healthy body, and the health of the planet as well. All thanks to the wonders of generative AI. Or at least that's the plan. Why does the world need another snack food? There are a lot of them out there.
The world needs another snack food because the world needs a healthy snack food. They need a lot of healthy snack foods.
Harold Schmitz spent decades at Mars, the company responsible for some of the most popular snacks in the world. He is now a founding partner of the venture capital firm The March Group, targeting the $700 billion global snack market, putting artificial intelligence at the center of snack food companies like Rivalz. What does artificial intelligence add to the recipe?
What AI does is it actually makes this incredibly complex mixture of chemistry, biochemistry that then goes through food processing. It actually makes it understandable. So product development can happen exponentially faster in order to create exponentially better products that are more cost-effective for consumers in the marketplace.
If Schmitz succeeds in making healthier snacks, it couldn't come at a better time. Studies show people continue to eat more snack food, even as they struggle with weight gains that affect their health.
Consumers, for whatever reason, have less time for traditional meals as we think about them, and so snack foods play a really important role in filling these, dietary occasions.
At the same time, obesity is increasing at alarming rates. Are those two things connected?
So it is quite possible they are connected. What we certainly know is that obesity is high, and it has been increasing. And diabetes, type 2 diabetes specifically, it's been called a global epidemic, is high, and it has been increasing. It is really, really interesting that for the first time in history, thanks to the pharmaceutical industry, we actually see hints that this curve is bending downwards.
JP Morgan predicts that by 2030, 9% of the U.S. population, 30 million Americans, will be on GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy. When you talk about the GLP-1s, Wegovy or Ozempic, those sort of things we know about, they do affect the demand, do they not? And that sounds like it wouldn't be good for somebody in the snack food business. If people are eating less snacks, that's not good.
Now, for the first time in human history, we actually have a class of pharmaceuticals that's relatively safe, and it causes a decrease in food consumption. So in terms of demand, consumer demand will go down for certain types of foods that are less healthy, but consumer demand is going to go up for foods that are more healthy. And frankly, it's pretty clear from a business context that there's a gap in the marketplace for these healthy foods.
Seeking healthy foods to fill this gap in the marketplace became a quest for UC Davis computer science professor Ilias Tagkopoulos. Not because it was his job, but because of his experience with his son, who had to drop out of school due to a debilitating condition. Doctors had no answers, so he looked at the food his son was eating.
We consulted with different nutritionists, we designed a diet, and within 9 days my son was cured. And he's now 15, he never had this issue again. And said, okay, I'm sold, that's it. Everything we do in Pippa is all about food.
Tagkopoulos' company, Pippa, targets uses of AI for food, working with a range of companies from the largest consumer packaged goods companies to startups like Rivalz, where the focus is on fiber and protein over savory snacks full of sugar, fat, and starch.
Food is something that's underserved in terms of AI. We are at the precipice of something really big. We have a need to change the paradigm, and we have to be more sustainable, going to our health. And for a healthy society, we need to generate a food that can keep us healthy in the long term.
Does the food industry, particularly some of the large food companies, because they're very big, do they know they're on the brink of something really big?
They do. They have realized that, hey, you know what? Maybe there's a reckoning that's coming.
If I am a food company and I want to develop a new food, what does AI allow me to do that otherwise I could not do?
Yeah, excellent question. So what AI does is figuring out where you should focus. So imagine having all these variables, all these parameters. I mean, where do you start and what do you explore? Based on the velocity you have of your experiments, your formulations or doing a tasting, right? So what the AI can do is quickly and dirtily, of course, make you focus on what matters.
In the pursuit of the food industry's holy trinity, affordability, scalability, and taste, sorting through the billions of possible ingredient combinations and process parameters is hard enough without worrying about nutrition, let alone sustainability. But Rivalz must also hit the mark on that familiar, satisfying crunch.
You can see that we got good filling in the center. You got real nice cell structure so that the texture is delicate.
Like Harold Schmitz, Ralph Jerome spent decades at the Mars Company, including as head of its chocolate research and development arm. He's a co-founder of Rivalz, and he showed us the business end of applying AI to food processing, all based around a machine called an extruder.
This machine will knead, it will mix, it will hydrate, it will cook, it will cool, it will form, it will shape. The problem with it is that a lot of times it's more art than science.
It's been around since the 1930s, a technology used in some 50% of food products on grocery store shelves today.
So typically in the industry, extruders have been run with high starch components because it works. You know, you use starch and you get to the end of the barrel and you get this beautiful expanded puff or chip or whatever the high carbohydrate food du jour is.
It turns out that Rival's objective, to shift away from snacks that are full of fat, unhealthy starches and sugars to healthier ingredients, is hard to do.
So the challenge is, can you extrude high protein and high fiber and get those textural characteristics? And by textural characteristics, I mean the aeration, the delicate texture, so that when you bite on it, you get nice crunch, so that when you bite in it, it's not a hard rock. And that's what the aeration does. Starch out of an extruder does that brilliantly, whereas protein and fiber do not. Product is moving further and further down.
Jerome claims Rivalz would have had to conduct 500,000 experiments to develop its first products. So it turned to AI to cut that number to only 71, coming up with its Rad Ranch, Tasty Taco, and Late Night Pizza flavors. With the data they've been collecting to train their algorithms, Jerome and the Rivalz AI engine produce affordable, nutritious snacks.
If you have the right data to train it, it will be able to figure out any complex relationship. So what you're seeing here is it's running a simulation with some parameters. And what the AI is doing here is actually it's going to optimize. It will take a minute or two. And it will run many, many simulations. And it will say, okay, maybe you want to change the dye or you want to change the temperature. It gives actually some new parameters, new values for the parameters for you to test in the lab. So instead of you trying to figure out, okay, what should I do? What's my next experiment? It actually does this for you by running like thousands to millions of simulations in a matter of minutes.
Rivalz was created to apply AI technology to the manufacture of snack foods, but it's far from the only food company, big or small, that is pursuing the possibilities, as Alex Frederick of PitchBook told us.
From what I have seen, food companies are taking quite a drastic approach to apply AI throughout their food production, from concept development, consumer research, R&D, and helping to scale food production. Unilever, Kraft Heinz, PepsiCo, and AB InBev are a number of examples of big companies who are all heavily investing in and deploying AI models.
The leading international food companies have big advantages in size and scale, in access to capital, and the amount of proprietary data that they can use. But Schmitz thinks smaller startups like Rivalz also have some things going for them.
The beauty of Rivalz with the AI component is the AI actually enables Rivalz to radically reduce its R&D costs, its consumer insight generation costs, and a whole host of other costs that in traditional food companies that aren't using AI at the center, they have to put a lot of money into supporting those operations in a way that Rivalz actually can now put a lot less, exponentially less.
The road to better, healthier food is littered with new inventions that have been overhyped or have fallen by the wayside over the years. Most recently, food tech investors and VCs lost billions of dollars on a promise that technology could be used to replace animals with plants and cultivated cells.
So these companies that we're talking about in terms of the plant-based and cell-cultured meat, those companies, the taste was subpar. The nutrition, in many cases, is subpar. The affordability is subpar. The scalability, the ability to manufacture for millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people is subpar. And it actually turns out that the environmental sustainability aspects are sometimes subpar as well. So it's a miss on all of these key points that actually a successful company in the food space needs to deliver on.
There's a long list of technology failures in food. One good example was Olestra. Anyone who was around and snacking on foods in the 90s is likely familiar with Olestra. This was a fat replacement product that was used in chips and other snack foods, and it was found to cause significant gastro distress and was fairly quickly pulled off the market.
But Rivalz Chief Marketing Officer, Erica Patney, who was the marketing force behind the Kind Healthy Snacks brand, says that Rivalz is off to a strong start with its launch on the West Coast.
So we're going to be about 3x what we were last year, this year in terms of sales. Our repeat rate tells us that we're growing our velocity, which is one of the key metrics at retail. So we are now in about 2,000 stores.
Do you market the AI piece? Because AI is so much in the zeitgeist right now. Many people will try it just because it's AI generated.
So to consumers, we do not. And our belief is that the consumer, one, doesn't really need to know how is it made in terms of what equipment is used and what technology goes into, R&D and innovation. What they really care about is how does it taste, what does it do for me, and what does it cost?
This is a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, Rivalz is, and it's a profitable multi-billion-dollar opportunity that can be profitable in the context of what the tech VC world in Silicon Valley would sort of traditionally think of. I think one way to be really successful in the consumer products industry and food is to realize two things. People want to live forever, and they want to feel great while they're living forever.